quite incredible. I've never seen anything like it. When it was sunny, it was pouring at the same time.
Yeah.
My limited knowledge of the weather patterns tell me that's impossible, but it happened yesterday and we saw it. But we're all good today. So let's get into the first over, Baz, shall we? And we've got a big show coming up as well. Because James Sutherland, the former Cricket Australia CEO, current Golf Australia CEO, but probably better known now among the younger generation as the father of Will Sutherland, who we know in the men's game, and Annabelle Sutherland, who we definitely know in the women's game, and the other son, of course, Tom Sutherland, is a gun cricketer, young cricketer at Prahran Cricket Club in Melbourne, and also a very good golfer as well. So himself and Heidi have produced 3 incredible sports people, and I look forward to talking to him predominantly about Annabelle Sutherland's innings at the MCG yesterday. But let's get into the first over, and I just want to touch first of all on the 2 wickets that did fall yesterday. The first was Mendes, caught down the leg side, a tame dismissal in many ways, and a nice freebie for Mitchell Starc. And I've got to say, I was disappointed because I was looking forward to watching him build in innings. I'd heard so much, I'd never seen him play live, certainly not since he's been in this rich vein of form. And the Australians would have counted themselves not lucky, but it's not necessarily the wicket you expect to get in the subcontinent.
Not really. I mean, and it's, if you're a batter, you'd say, oh, it's the most unfortunate, or one of the more unfortunate ways to get out. If you're a bowler like Glenn McGrath, he said both edges are in play, so the bowler deserves the wicket. I think the only mistake, if you want to call it that, Kamindu Mendes did make was playing away from his body, so he's left his bat hanging. It wasn't a committed flick shot or a clip shot. He just turned the face of his bat and kind of followed the ball and followed it far enough to get the edge and for Alex Carey to complete the catch. So a little disappointing. I think we were all here. Simon Kaddish spoke about it. He's been looking forward to seeing Kamindu show us what he's made of, but we'll have to wait from Australia's perspective. Hopefully not too long, because he walks. They managed to clean up Sri Lanka in the first innings, and we get to see them very quickly.
So Kamindu Mendes dismissed 15 from 38 balls, hit 1-4 and 1-6. And the second dismissal yesterday was the skipper, De Silva. Now this was a dismissal. I'm intrigued. We haven't really spoken about this dismissal yet. I think Simon Kaddish was very critical of it on air. Stumped. He was halfway down the pitch. It looked ugly, didn't it? He was gone for 22 from 34 balls. Kuhnemann, the bowler, that was his second wicket. How do you think that dressing room conversation went when he went back last night? Do you think it would be an issue or not?
Well, I mean, he's captain and he's a senior player as well. Been around for nearly 10 years now, Dhananjaya De Silva. So I think when he looks back on that dismissal, and Sana Jayasuriya would have given him a piece of his mind for sure.
Is he that type, Sana Jayasuriya?
He is. I mean, that's what we've learned. He's a hard taskmaster. He lets the boys be once the game begins, but he will pull them up if he feels like they made an error which could have been avoided, and that was the case with the Dhananjaya dismissal. Because 2 things: A, he left his crease too early, telegraphed his move way too early for Kuhnemann to adjust his length, and secondly, there was no commitment. He just ran out. It was almost one of those things he'd predetermined that, I'm going to run at Kuhnemann this ball.
And hit him for 6.
Yes, and he got into all sorts, and a sharp stumping for Alex Carey again, so he's already involved early in the game. So it came at a bad time, because Dhananjaya looked in okay touch, didn't he? He looked like he was building a partnership with Dinesh Chandimal, who batted so well, and they could have really avoided it, because if they're 4 down today, with all this weather around, and still Australia needing, if they were needing 16 wickets with Kusal Mendes still to come, they would have felt a little easier, Sri Lanka. But still, I mean, Dinesh Chandimal's looked really good as the innings has progressed, and Kusal Mendes started well.
We want the batters to show intent. We need the captain to lead from the front, and the captain sets the tone for the series. Steve Smith set the tone for the Australians, albeit against a different bowling attack. But for the Sri Lankan captain to do that, he's got 3 more chances, but he wouldn't want to do that again, I would have thought.
Oh, not really. And he's not a senior captain in that sense. He took over captaincy only last year, so he's within the first 12 months of being a Test captain. I mean, he wouldn't want to, because look, I mean, some of the other dismissals, Angelo Matthews was just a good piece of bowling. Dimuth Karunaratne slightly loose. You don't expect him to flash at one so early, but I guess it's just the record he has against Starc. And Oshara Fernando just played back to a ball he could have played forward. So they were errors, but this could well be a big turning point if Sri Lanka do collapse from here.
So they're the first and second deliveries. The third delivery is a question, a very open question. Did the Aussies bat too long, Bharat?
We'll know very soon. Look, again, like reading the weather patterns here are so confusing. Like I said, it's the forecast is for rain, but how much we're going to get, and even some of the Galle locals were surprised with how much rain they got because let's face it, this is not monsoon season yet in Sri Lanka. That comes later, I think around June or even later than that. So you could call it unseasonal rains, though the clouds have been around. The forecast has been it has been raining a lot in the southern part of Sri Lanka over the last couple of weeks. But I still think Australia would think that they made the right call. Look, it's not the Sri Lanka 2 for 136. They are 5 for 136. They're 1 wicket away from the tail, and they will definitely enforce the follow-on. There's still a lot of time left in that sense. And you never know in these kind of conditions. The two things matter. A, you want to have that extra cushion of 70 runs. You never know when they can come in handy. If there is a partnership for Sri Lanka and they get close to saving the follow-on, which feels like a long way away, but even then, with time running out, you could make do with those 20, 30 extra runs. And secondly, the other logic that gets used in this part of the world is make the best of the batting conditions, then make the most of it till you think the ball has started to do something. And we saw that late on day 2 when once Australia declared, their spinners were getting more out of this pitch than the Sri Lankans were. So I think they timed it right in that sense to get 3 wickets late on day 2. It's just that the weather didn't play ball yesterday. Hopefully it does for today and tomorrow.
I'll tell you one thing I was a little bit surprised about, and this is only a minor point, but they didn't bat more aggressively before they declared it. They were batting with intent, and Mitchell Starc hit a nice 6-over wicket, and Alex Carey made a run of ball 40-odd. But I'm surprised they didn't try and go 8s and 10s for 4 or 5 overs. I know it's not easy, but they would have deflated the Sri Lankans.
It would have, but I think by then it was already a mountain of runs that they put on the board.
Runs almost don't matter for that.
Yeah, after a point, it's just about when do you think, and you see it a lot in the subcontinent. You see it more in some of the pitches in northern India or in Pakistan where the pitch takes a while to start crumbling. And this has been a slow pitch so far. I mean, even Dinesh Chandimal has looked okay. I mean, he didn't look comfortable early on against Nathan Land, but once he found a way, he looked more than okay, to be honest. So, I mean, it's a logic that gets used by a lot of teams. So Australia did the same on dead pitches in Pakistan and managed to win that series in the last session. And I think that experience they would have used to the way they went about declaring here.
Before we move on and talk about the Aussies' tactics with the ball, what are you seeing out in the middle, Baz? It's just a small hive of activity now, which is good to see. The sun is out.
It is. I just saw Sri Lanka head coach Sanath Jayasuriya walk in that very familiar fashion to the middle, just take a look at the pitch. Now he's just having a word with the fourth umpire and the ground staff. There's not much he can do in terms of getting him to do anything now, now that the game has started. Not too far from him are Alex Carey, just as he does, and Bryce McGain spoke about it yesterday. He puts in so much work into his wicket-keeping drills, especially in this part of the world, being helped along by Andre Borovic, who from all reports was a sensational wicketkeeper.
Fantastic wicketkeeper in club cricket in Melbourne, and they're doing a drill that I think will be very important today. It's an edging drill where Borovic is using. Well, is he using one of those plastic stumps?
He is.
And the odd ball.
It's the bat that they use, like he has, like the edge bat. And Daniel Vittori, who arguably is the best throwdown left-arm spinner I've ever seen in my life. One of the best left-arm spinners Test cricket ever saw. But the way he can make this ball talk, and there are not too many Australian batters in there who find it easy facing him in the nets when he's just chucking balls at them with that left-arm orthodox spin action.
It's good to see. It's great to see Alex Carey out there early. Nathan Lyon was doing an interview a little bit earlier on with the World Feed. The Sri Lankans are slowly making their way out. I can't imagine the warm-up will be too hectic today. Okay, so the tactics from the Australian bowlers and what got me the most yesterday, Baz, was Steve Smith's quick bowling changes, and you noted it on commentary, which is, I don't know, you've seen more cricket in the subcontinent than me. I just feel like a spin bowler wheels away from one end all day. But he was happy to swap Kuhneman and Lyon around and give Murphy a go and start with Starc, as you told us, which is maybe a break from that old tradition.
It is, and he loves doing that. He did it in Indore to great effect when Australia won that test match in 2023 in India. But I think he uses 3 spinners better than I've seen a lot of captains do that. Because you're right. I mean, you generally will get like one spinner bowling a lot of overs, and the second spinner sort of not too far behind, and the third spinner largely being under bowled. But what Steve Smith has done is he doesn't give them more than 3-4 overs straight. Even with Nathan Lyon, he likes to move them around. Nathan Lyon's bowled from both ends, and even within spells, you'll see him having a chat with the spinners. There was 1 over or a period of 2 overs where Nathan Lyon bowled over the wicket to Dinesh Chandimal, had him in all sorts, and then shifted to round the wicket the very next over, and once again almost got him into trouble. So, and also the way he adjusts the field, the short leg, just a couple of centimeters to the left, to the right.
I love that. He literally shifts them to the side.
Little bit, like almost like 1 step to your right.
Half
like,
a step
half
even.
a step even. So, no, I think we'll see a lot more of that. Steve Smith has just walked out and taken his position at first slip next to Alex Carey. So, he will come into play, right? There were a couple of balls which just like went past him, which spun sharply as well. So, I wonder what this pitch will do.
Well, let's get into that now, because that's the next delivery, the 4th delivery. This pitch has been baked yesterday for half a day.
Yeah.
It's been baked right now, but intermittently with some rain and some covers on it.
Exactly, and the way they cover this pitch, though, because they go through the process, as we've seen and spoken about quite a bit. Adam Collins wants it to become the opening ceremony for an Olympic game someday. Goal 2044 is what we're going for.
2044. How old are you going to be then, Baz?
I don't want to know. And
Your hair will be down to your ankles by that point.
yeah, I mean, my hair will be its own entity by then.
Its own postcode.
So I still would be surprised if any moisture got onto that pitch. And it's been a lot. When the sun's been out, it's been sharp. It's been beating down on that pitch, and there are more marks on that pitch today than there were 2 days back. But yeah, 27 overs. Even what Australia would have given for even a double of those, like 54 overs, the chances are they would Sri Lanka would have ended up batting for a second time, but well, it wasn't to be. So the one thing Australia need to be careful about is to not get too desperate and focus too much on the weather, because the last thing you want is for them to try too many things, because like I keep saying, they're 1 wicket away from getting into the tail, which is longish, as you mentioned. Van der Sar can bat, Prabhat Jayasuriya can bat, but you're not talking about Stark and Cummins here.
No, that's exactly right. And they've got to see it like there's 15 wickets to get, and they've got potentially 98 overs today, and the weather forecast tomorrow is better at this point, so they could have 98 overs tomorrow as well. Give us a call, 1300 736 736. The 40 Winks temper text is always open, 0433 98 1116, or if you're in Queensland and New South Wales, 0457 736 736. What are your thoughts? How should the Australians play it from here? Did they declare too late? And what do you make of the Australian bowling attack with the 3 spinners and Mitchell Stark? And I wonder whether Bo Webster will get some offies, or Travis Head, or even Nathan McSweeney. There's lots of spin options for the Aussies. James Sutherland isn't too far away. We're continuing with the first over. You are listening to the new ball from Galle. This is the new ball for Cobram Estate, and we love Cobram Estate, Baz. We are indebted to Cobram Estate. Brent and the team have been loyal and with us the whole way through, ever since episode 1.
Yep.
Australia's most awarded extra virgin olive oil, grown, harvested, and first cold pressed in northern Victoria. So we'll continue to push that, especially given that I have plenty of Cobram Estate at my house at home, and my wife absolutely loves it. So,
we are a Cobram family as well.
And you sent me a message in the
I did,
in the break saying, what's your
good oil for me, Tommy? Yeah, no, I mean, whether it's the spray or from the barbecue.
Yeah.
Because I'm an Aussie, mate. Yeah, use the barbie all the time, mate. Yeah,
I still want your Richie Benaud impersonation at the right time. The 5th delivery of the first over is the Sri Lankan batters, the 2 not-out batters and what's to come. So Chandimal reached his half-century from 91 balls yesterday. He started sweeping Nathan Lyon with aggression after looking uncomfortable the night before. And at the other end is the wicketkeeper, who we know he can bat as well. He hit a slog sweep for 6. So these are the last 2 recognised batters, and there's a lot on their shoulders today.
And a lot of pressure on Kusal Mendis. We spoke about it, Adam and I, yesterday. On air, when he started his career, he was top 3, batted against Australia, made a famous 100 in 2016, and for a while there, it looked like he could be the answer to that question of who's the next Mahela Jayawardene. He was classy, he could play all around on the pitch, all on the ground, play all formats, but his batting is dipped, and the reason he finds himself batting at 7 is once they wanted to fit Kamindu Mendes in, they had to alter their batting lineup, and his career has reached a point where they felt he wasn't good enough to bat in the top 3, which is why Chandimal was sent to the top half. Obviously, he's way more senior and more seasoned, and Kusal Mendes was dropped down to 7 and made to keep wickets. So there is a lot riding on this innings and this test match for him. From what I've heard, he could well be on the outer if he doesn't fire.
Interesting. The wicketkeeper on the outer.
There you go.
There we go. Wow, you buried the lead. Interesting. They do have they've got 2. Well, they've got lots. Chandimal can keep.
Yeah.
They've got other keepers in the squad as well.
Yeah.
Which will be interesting. The new ball for Cobram Estate, Australia's most awarded extra virgin olive oil, grown, harvested, and first cold pressed in northern Victoria. We push on, Baz, and we get to point 5, which is how the Sri Lankans play it from here with Chandimal at the crease and also Mendes, the keeper. There's not much to come.
No, I mean, they're both attacking batters, as they've already shown us. I'm really looking forward to the resumption of Lion v Chandimal. I thought that was fabulous. 2 seasoned cricketers who've played a lot against each other, especially in Galle. And Chandimal, don't forget, got the better of Lion and the Aussies the last time he batted on this ground against them in 2022, where he made that famous double 100. So he'll attack them. He's already shown that he's very comfortable playing the reverse sweep against Nathan Lyon, or making room and punching in through the offside, regardless of whether he's bowling over the wicket or around the wicket. Kusal Mendes, like I said, is an interesting one. There's a lot of pressure on his position. He played that one sort of slog sweep which went over wide long on for 6 of Todd Murphy. And I think that's going to be fascinating, how they play Todd Murphy, because the way Australia have used him so far, Sri Lanka would have seen it. Australia go for Lyon, Kuhnemann, and then Murphy. So will they try to attack Murphy? I mean, he is inexperienced still. He's not played Test cricket for a while. He's a different kind of bowler to Kuhnemann. So that will be interesting, and I really think Todd Murphy could come into play a lot today.
And if you're just joining us, the sun is out here in Galle. The 6th delivery is the news yesterday. The unfortunate news, Baz, that Mitch Marsh is out of the Champions Trophy with a back complaint, ongoing soreness in his back. He hasn't played the last 3 BBL games because he's been rested, but he won't play there. Cummins is in some sort of doubt because of that ankle as well. So there's a few questions from this. Probably the first is, who bats at number 3 if Mitch Marsh isn't there in Australia's one-day international team?
Right, there are a few options though. I mean, Australia is suddenly so spoiled for options in white ball cricket and in red ball cricket, but they haven't announced a replacement yet, have they? Yeah. So, but they have enough time to change the squad. The provisional squad is the one that was announced earlier. I mean, who knows? Could be someone from the mix who's already here. They have the 2 ODIs against Sri Lanka to fit someone in there and give them at least 2 games before the Champions Trophy to get used to batting at number 3. But like I said, they're so spoiled for options there.
I'd love to see Matt Short bat at number 3.
I like Matt Short and what he's already done for Australian white ball cricket. But he's one of those cricketers, isn't he? Like Bo Webster to an extent, where every time you see him play, he looks better. He looks like he's matured more. I was there, fortunately, at the Adelaide Oval to see him play, make that sensational 100, 2 weeks ago, and against Brisbane Heat. And he just seems to be hitting the ball as sweetly as anyone around the country.
I tell you who's hitting the ball sweetly at the moment, Baz. It's Annabelle Sutherland at the MCG, who has joined a very short list of batters who have made back-to-back Test 150s. Her innings yesterday was phenomenal, really, and Beth Mooney at the moment has just brought up her 100 at the MCG as well, so we'll get to that in a few moments' time. But Annabelle Sutherland, 163 from 258 balls, pushed up the order to bat at number 3. This Ashes just continues to get better for the Australians there in the box seat to win it 16-0 and whitewash the English, at this point at least. Annabelle Sutherland, who is in rare company. I love the fact they put her at number 3.
Yes.
Baz, this just shows that this evolution of the Australian team is ramping up. Litchfield to open the batting, Georgia Vole's in there. Alyssa Healy's still got a role to play, but she's at 4. We haven't even seen Elise Perry bat, and she's made a Test match double century, and she's got an injury. And then they've got a bowling attack which is so well balanced. The English have been frankly humiliated this summer, and this Test series has just continued, and she's on the honour board. Yeah,
on the honour board. What a great moment that is for women's cricket, isn't it? To have her, such a young cricketer still, to have to become the first female cricketer to have her name on the honours board at the MCG for making 100. And you're right, England have been shambolic overall. They've been criticised from all quarters. They haven't come up with the right excuses either, as has been well publicised over the last couple of weeks. And yeah, Australia looked poised to go 16-0 up. They wouldn't get a better chance to do it.
No, absolutely. Well, they've got a big lead and they might even bat once. That's from the MCG. Let's bring it back here to Galle. This is the new ball for Henley Mainview Collection. Prices your bank will love and your friends will envy. Plenty of cricket issues to get through after the break as Peter Lalor and Adam Collins come in and get ready for the pre-game in about 15 minutes' time. India allowed to play fast and loose last night with a concussion sub. This is the new ball for Henley Mainview Collection. Prices your bank will love and your friends will envy. So that's Josh Butler, the England T20 captain, talking about the concussion sub that was allowed for India. So let's set it up, Baz, before I get your thoughts. Dubé was hit in the head. He was on 50 odd at the time. Second last ball of the innings. The doctor came out to him. He said he can continue batting. He faced the last ball. Then he complained of delayed concussion. He was replaced by full-time bowler who also happened to be on debut, Harshit Rana. Even though an batting all-rounder was available. Now, Rana took 3 for 33 from 4. He got Livingston, Bethel and Overton. And it allowed India to essentially play 12 players. Now, according to ICC rules, concussion substitutes must be like for like. The match referee on this occasion was Javagal Srinath, and it caused that reaction from Josh Butler, which is a really interesting sort of new age debate that we're having, given concussion substitutes are quite fresh in the game.
Well, it reminded me of a T20 in Canberra, where, it was a T20. When Justin Lanka blew up at David Boone, who was the match referee.
Right.
On that case, it was Ravindra Jadeja who was hitting the ball to all parts, got hit on the helmet, and then during the break, we found out that he had again symptoms of concussion, and on came Yuzvendra Chahal, pure bowler, and then he had a big impact in that T20 game. So same things happened last night. Josh Butler's quotes were interesting, weren't they?
Is he right in what he says, Josh Butler, do you think, or not?
There are a couple of versions I'm seeing online. One is, they're all taking England's side and saying, hey, how is it fair that a genuine fast bowler, Harshit Rana, who we saw on these shows, he had an impact in that Perth test, who bowls much quicker than Shivam Dube, who bowls medium pace, gets to come in for a batting all-rounder at best, which is what Josh Butler said. But then this other version as well that is doing the rounds, and it's about the key words in the playing conditions. This is according to our friend Mazhar, who does stats brilliantly all around the world. Match referee should consider the likely role the concussed player would have played during the remainder of the match. So it was just the bowling bit of Shivam Dube. So it ended up being Shivam Dube's bowling versus Harshit Rana's bowling. And who would India want bowling?
Of course.
Of course, Harshit Rana. So I think there is a loophole, if you want to call it that, in the rules.
There's a bit of wriggle room, but they need to change that, don't they?
They need to change that. Yeah, they need to be clearer, and maybe even have like players, maybe pre-match. I'm sure it happens, but officially have players. Okay, if this guy goes down, who will we bring in as concussion substitute, and have the discussion pre-game rather than wait for it to happen in the moment and then debate about it in hindsight.
Interesting. So in this case, in the Australian Test cricket case, you'd have a reserve batter for all the batters. You'd have, Bo Webster's a difficult one, but maybe Sean Abbott for Bo Webster. And then for the keeper would be a really interesting one as well. But then you'd have, Scott Boland for Mitchell Starc, for example. So you have their names next to the original name from the team shirt. That's a good idea, Baz. Have you said that before publicly?
No, I don't think so. I'm a smart man.
I keep saying you're one of the smartest people I've ever met. Up there with Peter Lalor, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The other news yesterday related to Virat Kohli, and you brought us this on the coverage, but for those who've missed it, Virat Kohli played his first class game in 12 years, as per the 10 commandments of Indian cricket, and there was a large crowd, and he failed.
He failed. 15 balls he faced for 6 runs, and it was a pretty, not shocking, but it was pretty noteworthy dismissal as well, off stump and cartwheeling.
That is the new ball for today. Join Adam Collins and Peter Lalor for the pre-game in a few moments' time. Baz will be back at the same time tomorrow. We'll see you then.
Can't wait.